Hello, welcome to Extra. I'm Joanne Hines.
And I'm Georgia Lash. Here at Extra, we bring you expanded coverage of recently broadcast features from Sun City News. This month, Sun City TV worked diligently to bring you the latest news from our surrounding community. Let's start with what we learned about living in Bluffton.
Reporter Chris Chase uncovers the confusion some of us might have about where we live. Debbie Sabanka, Bluffton Public Information Officer, sorts it out for us.
Now, Debbie, everyone in Sun City has a Bluffton, South Carolina address.
Correct.
How do you know if that's correct?
Okay, how do you know if they're in the town limits or not in the town limits? Because this is a very confusing subject for many residents because it is confusing. The town of Bluffton has very zigzag jurisdictional boundaries because the law, annexation law, is very complex. So Sun City is in the unincorporated parts of Beaufort County. They are not in the town limits. And again, what makes it confusing is that the jurisdictional boundaries, they do zigzag around, and then we do have donut holes or enclaves of unincorporated Beaufort County right in the middle of the town. So if you're confused, that is why. It is confusing.
How can you find out if you are in?
Great question. The easiest way is to look at your tax bill, which apparently a lot of people don't. Do you pay town of Bluffton taxes? Another easy way is while Beaufort County Sheriff's Office has jurisdiction throughout the county, is most of the police officer response, is it Beaufort County or is it town of Bluffton officers? Is it a blue uniform, town of Bluffton, or is it tan and green, Beaufort County? So while Beaufort County Sheriff's Office has jurisdiction over the entire county, is when a police officer responds, is it more so Beaufort County or is it the town of Bluffton? Because town of Bluffton officers can only respond within the town limits. And the third easy way to know is, does the town manage your trash and recycling? If your POA manages that, or if you pay for private service, you are most likely in the unincorporated parts of Beaufort County.
Now, you probably get a lot of calls about different things. What are the most important or the major things that you get questioned?
Well, I think, when you're a new resident and you just moved here, you're going to, most people assume they're in the town limits. And, that has to be determined about where you live. So this also comes up a lot during election time. So when local people go in and say, well, why isn't the mayor on my ballot? That's because you're in the unincorporated parts of Beaufort County. You're not in the town limits. So this issue really raises its head a lot during the election season. And then again, I get a lot of calls like, I'm a new Sun City resident, where's my welcome basket? And then I have to say, well, I'm sorry, but there is no welcome basket and you're not in the town limits. So, and I just want to say that it's very understandable why people are confused because, everyone in the greater Bluffton area has a Bluffton address. But again, look at your tax bill, who manages your trash and recycling, and does a Bluffton officer, blue uniform, usually come to your neighborhood when there's calls for police service, are the easiest way to figure that out. Or call me.
And how would they call you?
706-4500 and ask for the public information officer or anyone that can help them out.
All right. Now we know we can call Debbie.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for. And again, I'm here to answer questions about information to anyone that calls. So, please feel free.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Debbie, for your time today. We really appreciate it.
And thank you, Chris, because it is a confusing issue.
Thanks to Debbie for helping navigate our understanding.
And thanks to Chris Chase. Her time in Bluffton was well spent because she also caught a history-making story. Georgia, can you tell us about it?
For the first time in Bluffton's history, the new police chief is a woman. Chris Chase met with Police Chief Stephanie Price, and we learned more about the direction she is taking.
Well, with over a search 30 states and 100 applicants, we have Stephanie Price is the new chief of police for Bluffton. Now, Stephanie, with Bluffton growing and leaps and bounds the way that it is, what are your plans?
So Bluffton is such a town that is growing at just quite a furious pace. And so the plans are we're planning for now, we're taking care of now, we're taking care of the present, but what we're really looking forward to is our future and what that means. And what it means to us is future, how we deal and hang out with the community and how we interact with them and engage. And also the leaders of tomorrow. I'm really focused on the leadership of tomorrow and how we can do right by them and what we want our police department to look like, both in strategy and goals for the future. And not just 5-year goals. That won't do anymore. It has to be 15, 20, 25-year goals. I can tell you now, I remember what it was like being an officer in an everyday life. And I want our officers to have a great experience. I want our officers to be able to say, I had mentors and role models within the police department, and that's who helped me form my leadership style and leadership abilities. And we really need to be there for them so they can be there for our community.
Now, you're out, you have a recruiting out there now.
Yes.
What are you recruiting for?
We're recruiting for police officers now. We want to have a diverse cadre of police officers that really reflect our community, because I only want to give our citizens the best. So I want them to have police officers that look like them, that interact with them, that really provide the best community service that we can.
That's wonderful. Now, you were the assistant chief of police in Savannah.
Yes, I was.
Now, what difference did you see between your position there and your chief of police in Bluffton?
So in Savannah, only at times was I the acting chief, but now, just like Harry Truman said, the buck stops here. It's me. I'm above the whole department. I am the one, the face of the department that everyone looks for answers, for strategy, for innovations. But it's not about me. It's really about the community and about the folks that work with me. So, and I'm really proud to say, the officers here in Bluffton, it's a very special place. This is a special town, and the Low Country is a special region of the country. It has my heart. I can tell you this right now. It has their heart too. And what I mean by that is, even if you try to have them disengage with the community, they'll fight you on it. They really want to be out there, and that's what I'm looking for in the officers. I'm looking for somebody who wants to come here and really connect with our community and interact and live a meaningful, purposeful life in service to our community.
This is wonderful, and you're going to be a fantastic chief of police.
Well, thank you.
We wish Chief Price success in her career with Bluffton.
And Georgia, you also got a community story to share.
I always enjoy my sit-downs with Beaufort County Councilman Joe Passament. We covered so much info, from the county's role in the vaccination process to new amenities in Beaufort County. What a great way to start 2021. We're here with Joe Passament, Beaufort County Councilman, Sun City resident. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, the last time we met, our hot topic was the pandemic and the controls that were needed. And we see a little light at the end of the tunnel, our new hot topic, vaccination. So, what was the involvement of Beaufort County Council in the vaccination protocol?
Okay, an excellent question. What we've done is we are trying to take the leadership role in the county regarding the vaccinations. The rollout of the vaccine process has had some glitches. We understand that. We're helping people go along. The key element is you have to have an email account to be into the what is called the VAMS system, the Vaccine Administration System. That's the federal system. Once you get that process done, where they acknowledge that you're in the system, they will send you an email, which then allows you to begin the process of registering to get the vaccine. As long as you have a valid email, we can get you registered. And if there's concerns about how to register, or if you have questions about that, we're putting together what is affectionately known as cheat sheets, so that it'll walk you through exactly how to do that. And if you still have problems, you can always contact individuals along the way, including me.
I also saw that Beaufort County is still looking to protect us. You've extended the mask mandate. How was that decision made?
Well, that decision was made back in December. We saw that there were our quote-unquote super spreader events for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we felt that it was necessary to again extend the mask mandate. We had been talking to our municipalities, and we wanted to make sure that everyone, all the municipalities and Beaufort County in general, because we represent the unincorporated section as well as the municipalities, that we were on the same page, and we all agreed that extending the mask ordinance was appropriate, and that's why we did that.
Excellent. Now, one other question for our news, and that is there was some confusion about taxes this year.
Yep.
Where are we at in that process?
Okay, the tax bills were held up because of a conflict between the auditor and the county. That said, we now are in the situation where all the corrected bills have been done. They're online. They're all have been mailed out, and individuals now can pay their taxes. There are no penalties. The time has been extended till mid-March for them to pay the taxes. So
Congratulations are in order, Joe. You've once again been selected as the council chairman. Now you're reelected and new members joining you. What's 2021 going to look like?
okay, we have a wealth of things that we're going to be doing in 2021. The first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be establishing our goals for the year, which will culminate in the creation of our budget that will be in effect for July 1 of 2021. So it's an exciting year coming up.
One of the exciting things that I just saw is actually this morning, we had a grand opening, virtual, of course, about the Widgeon Point Preserve. Tell us about that amenity.
That amenity, Widgeon Point, is not far from here, where we are. We're located in the Riverbend Lodge, but if you follow 170 about 5.5 to 6 miles, Widgeon Point Preserve Park is there. It is a passive park. It has been newly renovated. It has walking trails. It has places there that are historical. It's a wonderful 62-acre park. It was opened up today by Brian Flewelling, Councilman Brian Flewelling. That's in his district. He did a fabulous job today. Then you were able to see a virtual tour, and you will be able to actually go and enjoy that park. Passive parks, we have active parks. Passive parks are our nature parks, where you can walk through nature trails and you can sit and read a book. Our active parks are the ones that are quote-unquote active. That's where sports can be played and more robust things can take place in those parks. And by the way, we have one that's on the drawing board now that's being created. That's when you look outside Riverbend and you look up towards 278, that's where an 18-acre passive park is going to go. That's going to be one of the best parks we're going to have that overlooks the Okatee.
That sounds exciting. Yeah. Now you'll keep us updated throughout the year, I hope. Yeah. And we are so grateful for you for taking the time to stop in and update our Sun City TV station. Thank you.
I'm excited about that new park. It's so close to us.
Right across Riverbend Dock.
Excellent.
Now, while we've been very busy sharing all the civic information, we also recognize this is the month of love. Joanne, our next story, gives us all the feels.
Reporter Doug Wright caught up with our Sun City Tennis Association. Their members not only love the game, but they love helping others.
We're here today at the end of 2020. We're going to highlight a great project undertaken by members of the Sun City Tennis Association, and the organizer of which is Joellen Bittner. Okay, Joellen, tell us about the event that's happening today and how you got involved.
Well, I've been helping Wayne Lilly over the years with coaching some of his special needs students, and he expressed a need for some rackets, used or new, anything that would help to get rackets into the hands of some of the disadvantaged youth and adults and special needs students that normally would not have a racket they provide loaners when we do our little sessions, but they go home without a racket. This way they will have a racket, pride of ownership, hopefully be able to practice some, and maybe learn to love tennis like we all do.
And Wayne Lilly is the head of a very, very good organization. Tell us about the organization.
Publictennis.org, and he's been involved with that. And I'm not really sure, probably 10 or 15 years in this area, helping get public tennis involved, courts, the wall at Ulmer Road, and just working with a lot of our special needs students, especially that go on to Special Olympics. We have a lot of our students here that participate in the Special Olympics.
And I understand that you started this about December 15th. How many rackets and how much money?
Literally, we have 100 rackets that have been donated by the members of the Tennis Association. A lot of them are new. This whole bin here are new rackets. A lot of them are in great shape. Some need to be restrung and regripped, which Wayne has volunteers that will take care of that. And we will use the money, which is almost $500 that was also donated, to purchase more rackets that might be needed in youth sizes, or for getting the grips and the strings and everything to get the rackets ready and look kind of new for the kids to have, so they have pride of having their own racket.
And is this your first time, or have you been doing this annually?
This is the first time that I've been involved with his racket drive. I've been helping him for a few years with the special needs students, but I think we can make this an annual event. Just talking to him, he told me he had one program in St. Helena Island that he has 135 students looking for rackets that he would like to provide rackets to, so the need is huge.
And how do others get involved, either as a volunteer or a donator, even if they're not a member of the Sun City Tennis Association?
Well, that would be great. We'll take any of the volunteers that we can get and any of the donations. You can contact me. You can find me here at the tennis courts, or ask somebody at tennis. They all know who I am. Or you can contact Wayne through publictennis.org and his website. And in fact, you can see some of the good work that he's been doing. But they're always looking for volunteers, especially once we get past the COVID.
Well, Joe Ellen, this is a wonderful project. It's been very successful in a short period of time, and a great way to start 2021.
It's great. So get these rackets ready and hopefully, get them out to the kids right after the holidays. And I just want to thank everybody, all the members of the Tennis Association and the community, whoever donated this huge amount. It's wonderful.
Well, Kate, you're here for Public Tennis of Beaufort County to pick up these donated rackets. And tell me a little bit about the organization, when it was organized, and how large is it?
Well, Public Tennis Inc. is a not-for-profit organization that's been in the Beaufort County area, especially on Hilton Head, for over 20 years. But now it expands and includes all of Beaufort County. The number of volunteers is growing each year. It's not a huge organization, but we do have a Public Tennis Inc. board, and they do projects like Joe Ellen was saying, at various schools and special needs organizations, and they also get very involved with maintaining courts for public use throughout the county.
And this is a pretty significant contribution, wouldn't you say?
I am overwhelmed with the support from Sun City. We couldn't have imagined this many rackets being donated, and then to have financial contributions that'll help us fill in the gaps for different size rackets and other needs that we have is beyond our expectations. So we really, truly thank you and everyone at Sun City who participated.
And I understand that these go to special needs kids, and they some of them, if not all of them, go to the Special Olympics, which are held how often?
Well, they're annually most years, but we of course are dealing with the pandemic, so things are on hold right now. But by having rackets of their own, kids will be able to get some practice at home or with school or with small groups, and kind of those athletes will be able to continue their skills. And we're also broadening the distribution, hopefully, to kids at elementary age and some of the other kids who maybe just don't have, their families don't have the financial means to get them their own rackets. So initially it'll be the special needs kids, and then we'll expand the distribution beyond that.
Well, it sounds like a terrific organization.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kate, for spending a little time with us.
And special thanks to Joellen and her group and all the Sun City people who contributed. Thank you.
Georgia, let's finish up the story that you covered that reflects the love that we have living in Sun City.
Social media isn't always the place for positive news, but we found someone on Facebook who does his best every day to remind us of the wonderful place we live. Sun City resident David Glass may be skating in, but we're not going to let him skate by without learning more about him. David, you came on to our Sun City TV radar with your Facebook posts of photo of the day. So how did this all happen?
Well, Facebook, I didn't even have a Facebook account until October, but I started taking pictures of the details around here that add up to make it such a beautiful place. And it evolved into a daily post. There were so many pictures and so many pretty places to see here that it became a daily post, and it became popular with some people that were following it, and it just built from there.
David, when I read your Facebook posts, I notice that you caption them always including the phrase, the wonderful place we live. How did Sun City get to be your wonderful place that you're living?
Well, I'll say that Sun City was the wonderful place that I've wanted to live for a long time. My parents lived here part-time beginning in 2000 and moved into Riverbend full-time in 2006. My sister Amy and her husband Mike Allen live in Riverbend and have for over 10 years. My wife Judith and I visited long time before we actually got married 10 years ago on the patio at my parents' house in Riverbend under their pergola on a beautiful day, and we've always talked about that being a perfect setting for a perfect wedding. So we couldn't wait for Judith to retire. She did finally 2 years ago, and we moved to Sun City for this to be our wonderful place too.
So now, how long have you been living in Sun City?
Oh, we moved here full time. We visited most of January and most of March last year just to get the lay of the land, and we've moved here in mid-June of last year and have lived here for about 6 months full time.
Awesome, awesome. Now, I think your photos are so inspiring that perhaps we've got some people out there looking at them saying, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should capture more pictures. So what tips do you have for aspiring photographers?
Oh, well, the first is the subject, obviously. Take a lot of pictures and sort out the ones that you like from the ones that just don't give your message the way you want it to. Light is always a big deal for photography. Certainly don't miss the opportunity to take a picture because you're fiddling with the settings on the camera. Take it and work on the rest of it later on as much as you have to adjust. Light is a big deal. The subject is the bigger deal.
Now, you told me that you take some of your photo ops on your longboard. Is that a requisite to be a better photographer? Because if so, I'm out.
Oh, no, the longboard certainly gives me a lot of opportunity to see things close up and at slower speed than a car. My longboard will do about 20 miles an hour, but typically I don't ride it that fast in the streets around here. It's my favorite toy. I'll just be open and admit that. I've loved that longboard for over a year. It was my 70th birthday present to myself, and it's an extension of my misspent youth. I tell people it's just a continuation of what I've done pretty much all my life.
Happy 70th birthday present. Wow. I don't think I would be getting that. But it's a wonderful tool that you've used, obviously, to your advantage. I have to believe because of your photography, because of your Facebook posts, because of your longboard exercise, you are a multifaceted person. So what other interests have you brought with you or are doing now new in Sun City?
Well, I play Tuesday, Thursday softball. Got in just under the wire when we moved here to sign up for Tuesday, Thursday softball. Played with a great team, fun people, positive people this year, and we were successful partly as a result of that. I play pickleball 2 or 3 times a week. My wife Judith has taken up pickleball and the ceramics club. We're trying to join in to all the things that are available to us, at least during this partial shutdown. We know that this is a fun place, and as people told us when we were visiting, if you're bored in Sun City, sometimes called senior camp, if you're bored here, it's your own fault.
And I think you're going to add to that dimension. But before I let you go, I have to ask a favor. Can I have a photo of the day, my photo of the day with you?
Be careful because it may end up being photo of the day. Sure.
Okay, here we go.
Well, that's extra for February. I'm Joanne Hines. Please check out the program guide in Sunsations and the Sun City website for our other SCTV monthly shows.
And I'm Georgia Lash. Thank you for watching. Please join us again next month as we bring you extra coverage of stories and features from Sun City News.